And this is Ed. I'm in San Diego, California, and you can find us down here on that map over there. And with us today in Dusseldorf area in Germany, first time that we're meeting after all these years of being in the relocation industry. Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you for having me. Yes, actually, absolutely correct. And it is very strange that we have never crossed paths so far. Because, yes, I'm in business quite long myself as well already. And I stumbled over your name a couple of times, even though I'm so far away from you. But nevertheless, never happened to meet you so far. So at least online, finally there. So yes, coming from
Yes.
Düsseldorf from Germany.
Yeah, this is great. And I have been doing this TV show, I call it TV, um, since COVID crashed into my 30 years of doing live meetings and events. Um, and so ever since about March 1st of 2020, I've been producing a global TV talk show. And I have done several in-person events despite COVID, particularly three in London, which were really nicely done. I was honored to be supported and sponsored and hosted by the Global Trade Bank, HSBC, inside their London headquarters. And and then in New York area, at the U.S. Capitol Business, across from Wall Street, Ernst and Young hosted my events three times. Um, but
Very impressive.
since, thank you. Since then, I have cut back on producing my own live meetings. First of all, it's really time consuming and expensive. And there's a lot of other meetings going on. And so I don't want to compete. So I'm doing this broadcast more and more. I have produced and financed and marketed more than 1,100 since starting. And they're all available free of charge on the YouTube channel. And this one will be up there during my late day. And I'll send you the copy, of course, for your own distribution. And that's free. Uh, I make a business by doing these things and having members and advertisers, sponsors. Uh, but this is not contingent on that. If you don't taste it, feel it, experience it, you'll never spend a dime. So I take that risk. So what I do, just to make sure it's clear, when this is finished, and you're okay with this, and I will ask you for that uh, review, if you will, feedback. I will publish it and promote it heavily across LinkedIn, which is primary, and the YouTube channel. My own website, which has been around for years, globalbusinessnews.net, is the home base. And of course, that connects out to Facebook and everything else. But the primary business to business service is LinkedIn. I've been a member for 20 years or so. I don't know. There's a reach of over 1 million, mostly business to business, US mainly, but also, of course, uh, outside of the US. This year, I've been on a campaign to meet new people and not step
Lucky
back.
me.
I am really honored. So, and I have a few friends, perhaps you have met them, maybe not, but you might meet them now as a participant in our talk shows. Um, Annette Dernick is in Cologne, based in Cologne. Now, and she's a coach, a professional coach. And her theme is peace and love and in workplace teams.
I love that.
Okay. And so she's a specialist in bringing people together and training and getting people to relax. And so she has been a guest on my show several times. And she has introduced me to some other people based in Germany, including just recently uh, in Berlin. She introduced me to a venture capitalist, and we just hit it off. It was really wonderful. And he's given me some really good advice. Uh, anyway, this program is about you, not about me, but this is obvious that we'll have a conversation. So I call this broadcast studio. And I'm always branding things. I grew up in the public relations business and have early years, a long time ago, in front of the camera as not as an actor, although when you get in front of the camera enough time, you're acting, but it's mainly as a salesman. And I was in many TV commercials selling things, mainly to people of my age at that time, college age, that kind of
I will
thing.
look up that one if I can
No,
find
no, you won't
something.
find it. They're all burned in hell. So, uh, but the TV shows, all 1100 or so, they were all available.
I
And
will check those as well.
you'll see the hair got whiter as we get through the program, but um, we've been doing this a long time. So the concept of how I began in the always PR and advertising forever, but connected to recruitment, talent recruitment into Boston, Massachusetts, where I'm from originally. And I partnered with two guys. They were behind the scenes and I was up front because they were corporate and they needed a recruitment tool, a talent relocation assistance is what we call it, right? But it's actually talent recruitment. And part of that is area information presentation. So created and designed a magazine, glossy color magazine, about settling in Boston and the suburbs. And it was a big hit right away. And
When
so,
was that, if I may ask?
uh,
You want to tell me?
yeah, in the late 70s.
Wow, that's really impressive actually.
That's a long time ago. And that was the first one was 76. Okay. I sold that business in 1980 and but kept the format, the trademark, and of course the knowledge and the contacts. And I moved to LA. I relocated myself and my big idea to LA, all the way across the country. Um, because at that time, President Ronald Reagan was elected, and he was, break the evil empire, which at that time was Russia, and so it built up the American defense industry, and of course, Reagan was from L.A., being a Hollywood guy, um, and so all of the defense contractors opened up in Southern California. And so recruitment of talent into the defense buildup spread throughout the industry and all kinds of businesses, not just defense, but particularly high tech and computers, and therefore the growth of Silicon Valley. And the LA version of that, of course, that's up north in San Francisco, which is an hour flight. The southern part is called Silicon Beach, LA. Okay, and that was my home.
I like that. I've been there. I had a very nice drive along the highway number one along the beach.
Yeah, it's nice, very nice. I'm gonna want to show you something. I'll be right back, mate.
Yeah.
You may not be able to see this.
Oh, wow.
California Bound. That's the
That's
name of the LA edition. And see
very
those
nice.
kids running in the park? That's my daughter and the guy who became her first husband. Um, and then I also did San Francisco bound, Chicago bound, New York bound, but this is San Diego bound.
Diego Bound. Oh, beautiful city as well. Oh, nice. Really
All
cool.
right. And so you can see pages here and
That's hard to see now.
information. I'll send you information
Yes,
about all this
please.
later.
Yes, please.
So we did a whole series, and sorry, I got to put these in.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did a whole series of LA bound, California bound. Uh, but the defense companies, of course, and the LA Chamber of Commerce and the LA Economic Development Corporation became my partner for distribution to all the corporations who were members of their Chamber of Commerce, of course. Um, so this was during the 80s, and the Chamber of Commerce and the LA Economic Development Corp, so way back then, uh, they bought more than 100,000 copies at $10 each way back then. So I didn't need any venture capital. I didn't need any investors. I had rich customers. So uh, that funded my early days. And that's formed the foundation for what I'm still doing, although it's changed, of course, over the years. So the first ever live event meeting, like you went to Eura,
Mhm.
and you have your GARP and other things, FEM, I'm sure you're involved with, but um, my first ever meeting was produced inside the lunchroom of the LA Chamber of Commerce because they said, "Hey, Ed, we've helped you. Now help us get members." All right. So I said, "Okay, you buy lunch and I'll bring them in." And they did. And so the first meeting ever that I produced live was in October of 1984.
Oh, wow.
And I had no idea what I was doing, other than, again, I had experience being an MC and a talker in front of groups, and I'm not afraid of doing that. So I got all the corporate users, my customers of the California Bound magazine for recruitment and relo, and all the advertisers who were realtors and banks and moving companies. Destination Services is the fancy name now. And
Correct.
yeah, and so and they all came. And so that was October 1984. I've since produced, again, I've cut way back on live meetings, but 350 meetings or so. So this is who I am, what I'm doing, and what I'm doing now using Zoom and the spin-off into audio, in other words, radio, is just a recording of this. And I put it on my radio website as well as send it out to everyone. But I send a link so they could tune in by wearing these while they're out driving or walking, right? And and then the videos, of course. So this is the product today, which is in tune with the nature of things and doesn't cost me anything really because I like what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. Uh, but I try to find people to become sponsors or members. Um, and that's how I pay bills is through that. So in the meanwhile, I help people get public relations, talking to your customers. For instance,
Mhm.
you if you like what we're doing here, uh, then feel free to resend the link to whoever you want. I'm going to send it all across Eura, all across FEM, all across everywhere. Not all the same time, but over weeks and months, so that people will see this recording 6 months from now, as well as those who will get it tomorrow or the next day.
I'm not that experienced. I think I'm quite experienced, but not that experienced. I'm too young for that, to be honest. But I think I mean, your life is super interesting just to listen to you. So I already learned a lot myself today
Thank
besides
you.
meeting you. But I think it's always to meet people doing that much during their life is very inspirational, not to give up and just to take basically the leads you can get, no matter where they lead you, and just eventually turn left or right if it's necessary. Um,
Or a duck and get out of the way.
no, but it's meant like that. I am for myself, so I'm here representing GARP. Yes, I am working in a rather small DSP. Yes, it's a very fashionable name for today's kind of work for on the ground, I would say. So my story is very different to yours. My mother basically was an expat together with my father in Texas, in Houston, or close to Houston. And when she came back to Germany in 1988, she decided her life with three young ones, so we were babies back then, is way too boring. And what do we do with expats in Germany? So that was how my mom basically founded our business. And I worked on documentation and filling literally on typing machines. Yes, I know I'm not old, but gee, sorry, I think I'm moving too fast or too much. So it's basically I filled in my first documentation on the typing machine when I was 15. So I'm now 41. So which is quite some time ago also. And yes, even since then, so many things have changed. Names have changed, work has changed, people have changed, assignees have changed. There are not that many assignees, at least I'm working with. Um, and why I or for what I basically where my heart pounds for is basically GARP. So you have connected that already basically in what you said earlier. Because I think that so it's a national association. It stands for German Association of Relocation Professionals.
And so you also belong to the big groups, but there's a need for localization
Yes,
and close relations.
absolutely. Yeah,
You always have good relations with people across borders and cultures, but it's the people that are right there down the street or in Frankfurt or in Munich or wherever that do the same kind of things and you have shared experiences. You really don't compete with each other, but you can learn from each other.
exactly. That is it. Thank you for catching up there. And we do not only have DSPs, but we have people from furniture leasing, we have people from insurance companies, we have people from, we hope one day from schooling, but from a lot of different, basically supplying companies who are all working in the same field. So, yes, it's competitors partially, but it is sparring partners. They give us ideas. It's just super nice to exchange with the people on a national level. Because yes, you're right, LinkedIn is still flooded with Euro happenings and so many cool people you have met, or I have met. But it is the daily necessity of exchanging. I literally hung up with some of my fellow GARP members an hour ago now because we had topics to discuss for our association because we have meetings also going on in Germany itself for the national people, for potential new members, for networking, to exchange ideas, to learn something new together from other participants, from other members. So that is, it's really, really nice. Yeah. And we hope that one day we can just be very, very strong. We are growing every day. So when I made my notes for today, I looked up how many members we were. We were, I think, 56 back then. Now we are 61. So we are constantly growing, basically, which is super nice. It is a very nice on level exchange we have, even though, yes, we work in the same field.
Well, so I want to go to the next level here, okay?
Sure.
And you can bring up any topic you want, of course, but the role of coaching,
Mhm.
professional coaching, I'm getting into that now more and more because people I'm finding are afraid of doing what you're doing right now, talking to me on camera. Uh, they don't want to admit that, but many, many people are camera shy. They don't spend enough time, generally speaking. Most people who do a Zoom or Teams camera show do not prepare properly. And the camera sees everything, everything. And if a person is not prepared or uncomfortable or fidgety, it's a it's a trap because that's pasted in the memory of whoever is watching forever. And that's enough to scare a lot of people away right there. but but you can counter that by learning. And so I've been coaching people on media prep and how to relax, not acting, but yeah, of course, knowing yourself and how you appear is the biggest and easiest thing in the world to learn from. Costs nothing. So we give you the show to look at, and you could, be critical on yourself if you want. I'm not being critical about you at all.
Thank
I
you.
no, you have an excellent lighting on coming down on your forehead and your hair. It looks very nice, and there's no glare. Okay, sometimes the lights are wrong and it bounces off your eyeglasses, or it does to me anyway. So, so I
Well,
look down
sometimes
here.
depending on where.
Yeah, right. I just saw your ceiling lights.
Yeah.
So, but the colors behind you are brilliant. And, it's just like this. This is sort of, it could be annoying, but it's also captivating. So that's why I move in front of it sometimes.
Just to get a bit more quietness for the eye.
I could put pretty pictures behind me and, pictures of fish and
Yeah, but that is something I usually never have something in the back for myself. I usually always am where I am. This is just because of GARP, to be honest. For me, so I'm sitting in the office of my partner, and he is a gamer. So everywhere behind me, there are games, etc. I love the background. It's a great opener for everything. For the coaching part, I am super nervous. I didn't. I have been super nervous the whole day. I'm not,
not
I think,
because of this.
oh yes, also because of this. It's
Oh,
I
don't be nervous.
is I can my fidget toy is my bracelet, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
fidgeting all the time, but
Don't
I
see that
yeah,
pen?
yeah,
Hold on to my
exactly.
pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I think it's about the tricks you make for myself. And I'm not a coach myself. I'm always happy for any kind of input. Because I think you can just learn. And people usually, I'm very lucky in my life, people are very kind to me and have been very kind to me. They're always very honest, and if I do something wrong, they will tell me, which I think is absolutely brilliant because with that I can grow. But I'm super nervous. What is worse for me, camera is not so bad. My dad is a photographer. So he, not for videos, but he took a lot of pictures, so I know exactly how I look like. I know, unfortunately, the camera sees everything, no matter what funny faces I make. But if I'm aware of that. And if I don't like something, then I either have to put the lighting different or have to train my voice or have to train on how I sit or how I react or what I say or whatever. But for me, I realized very early, and I was again lucky in that, as long as I stick to myself and as long as I talk how I talk and do not try to act, as you said, I'm usually fine. So,
Well, the idea is on the acting thing, it's best to ignore that and just be comfortable with your topic,
yeah,
and that's enough because the honesty will come through. So let me ask you a couple of questions about
sure.
coaching. Let's get back to coaching. But what I was getting to, and I got myself off track. You didn't do that. I did it to myself. Was uh, coaching transferees,
Mhm.
particularly spouses, partners. All right, because they can get in the way
Yeah.
of the transferee doing the job. Okay, and therefore productivity, ROI, for who is ever spending the money on the relo, and one's life story is impacted by the spouse or the family, the living situation, whether it's remote or whatever. So the coaching that I'm referring to is that companies would should
Mhm.
think about hiring people like you to do something extra, to do something close up to the family,
Mhm.
away from camera, and just have a talk, go shopping and go for a walk, do something uh, to be make a friend. And from that can come better conversation. I'm sure you know that already. And so the coaching aspect has not been talked about because it's really so personal and behind the scenes as it should be. But if the family on assignment is not cohesive and learning about the new area and integrating, assimilating rather than hiding out and not going to that coffee shop or not going to that restaurant or not going to the local community event in the square or in market day events, mixing in, being visible, learning about the area proactively, that's going to impact the transferee's production. And the transferee's boss and line management are going to know that. And
Yeah.
and the assignment may blow up or just be non-productive. Uh, so they what what I'm promoting in conversations like this, day after day, is the idea of coaching, professional coaching. It could be on language, could be on culture, could be on places to go and to enjoy the new environment. And so, what do you think of that idea?
I love the idea. I was heavily breathing. I don't know if you heard that,
No,
but
I
it's
didn't see it either.
yeah, it's why I did it was like I'm absolutely 100% with you on that. And I think it does not even start with a coaching, but it starts with a happy environment. So with a happy person picking you up, someone who's just friendly, smiling at you. Um, from my experiences, it is a bit depending on to which country you go. Uh, Germany in general is not well known worldwide or globally for being the most friendliest part of the world because people just tend to not smile a lot. I think personally it's different, but a lot of people do just close up. So just do or kind of start off being more friendly, I would say. Um, I see the necessity. I'm talking to different companies I'm dealing with since many years already that spousal support, and I'll just say it very general, especially in coaching, in having, not, I don't call it a coach, I have to admit. I more call it like a friend on time, someone who can just take you around or to tell you how the rules are. If it's a coach, if it's an intercultural trainer, um, or really a friend who's already staying there. And so I did not define it that properly into a coach section, but I think it's super helpful. I mean, there is this saying, happy wife, happy life. There is so much into it, maybe not wife, but spouse, but there is very, very much in that sentence. And I can just talk for Germany about that, but here, most of the companies you are on a budget, it costs money in the end. Companies do not want to support, not because they don't want to support, they are happy if you do it. So if you take a call from someone, from a spouse staying at home and they have a problem, they are super happy if you do it. But the expenses you have, especially for service-orientated stuff, I would say in Germany, is there and it's real. And the numbers on divorces after being in Germany, just I don't know the exact numbers, but from my experiences, it is a tough thing. You said earlier in our conversation that it is a big change. Of course, you go into a country. Usually, so one of my favorite sentences is the person working, the assignee, he or she is fine because they are in their work environment, they are happy, they have their things to do, they are totally fine, they make their friends, and then you have the person staying at home and trying to get connections. Maybe they are shy, maybe they don't know how do you properly talk to people, where are any kind of, or are there schools where I can learn German? Oh, I have to go there to register for a school. So there are so many of these small topics. So yes, I think a coach would be wonderful. Absolutely.
Topic for future discussion at GARP
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
everyone has the same problem.
We have our next meeting. We are having in June. Oh, don't let me lie. 11th of June in Hamburg. It's about mental health, basically. So
And the idea of coaching.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So that interesting topic, isn't it? Then
absolutely.
it's such an obvious thing, but because it tends to be personal, it's a lot of push down
Yeah.
or push back. You know? So I thank you so much for your time. Let's talk a little bit about Euro. Euro is wonderful. Just a great space. I was fortunate when they did a Berlin meeting years and years ago. I was one of the speakers there.
Oh,
This
nice.
is a long time ago, real long time.
You might have met my mother there.
Well, I met a lot of people for a long time. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, I remember the name. Was the name of the company the same?
In Berlin, I don't know. It was very initially, it was a different company.
It's probably 20 years ago. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the company's
yeah,
name is 20 years ago. It was the same. Yes, absolutely.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was, yeah, and it was just great. Yeah. So I produce a lot of TV shows, and many of them are, of course, one-on-ones like this. But my specialty is small group, not big. I've done 20 people and everybody's on the screen about this big, And so that doesn't work for me, because you can't relate. And and they most people who are in that Hollywood Squares kind of a look get bored and they disconnect or they go do something else. And the camera sees all that. So it turns out to be a negative. But in a small group environment on a pre-agreed theme, then people are prepared to some extent, before the show starts, dialogue happens. And that's why I call the global meeting room, again, I'm in PR, so I brand everything. The global meeting room, dot, 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 the psychologically safe place for business intros and conversations, period. And says it all. And the proof is in the pudding, American thing. The proof is display. In what you see is what you get. So I show the people who will watch this exactly what I'm talking about. And your reaction is sincere and honest, I see. And that's going to translate and transmit, communicate out there to the world that it's a safe place. It's okay. And that creates an environment for engagement and meeting strangers and taking away after the show is over, taking away that contact for your own private future use, about which I know nothing. Okay. That's their business, not mine. So the whole process becomes, again, I'm branding the process, co-marketing. The word marketing preceded by CO. So it becomes one word, co-marketing. And the name of my company that I founded in 1976, guess what? Co-marketing partners. So now we have AI. I'm going to ask you about AI and your business, but let me tell you about what I have been doing. I've become friends with Gemini, but not Quad and not Chat GBT, GBT. I can't even pronounce that right. But Gemini is easy because I was born in June, so I'm a Gemini, and so it's a natural fit.
Easy, good fit.
All right. So I asked Gemini, this is Ed. I need help understanding how to communicate more about my brand name, which is co-marketing partners. Please help. And then comes this big long thing, right? I don't know where they get that from, but anyway, you tie everything together and it's just fabulous. So that's how I'm using AI for the most part, is to take what I'm already doing or something that I want to do, like a phrase or some kind of a brand thing, and how do I learn more about it so that on the talk show, or even when I'm preparing for the talk show, I could read all of that stuff again and it's fresher. So I don't stumble around while on camera. It sounds like I know what I'm doing. It looks like I know what I'm doing. So how do you use AI?
It's um it's a very good question. I think in
I know, requires more time, but
it requires a lot of time. I think to summarize, I would wish the GDPR regulations in Germany would be a bit different, that we could use or make proper use of AI. Due to the GDPR regulations, though, it is very hard because we can't use it in the extent we could to simplify things. I'm using it for myself. and in the company for very general questions. So very much like you, or if I have a hiccup in my mind, trying to find the right path or maybe an idea, and then my idea come out of that. Um, my own company basically works with automatizations, so not with AI yet, due to the GDPR regulations. I think it is going to be no, what is out there is quite scary. If you ask me, if you ask, I said my boyfriend, he's a gamer basically, which is not 100% the correct way. He's in IT. And he, for example, if you would have introduced your question to him, he would have immediately answered you with, but don't only use Gemini, but use ChatGPT as well as Claude and let them communicate because for him, he communicates with everything. For me, I keep telling him I can't, I have too much client data. But if you have your own little AI in your own little world, so on your platform, in your safe zone, if safe is the right word in our world, where you can kind of get into everything what is online in the end, um, it is just too expensive, to be very honest. It's I could not afford to build up my own kind of AI world. Um, I'm too small for that from company size. Um, so I'm working on presentations, etc. I use it there to get like some head ups, but not enough yet.
Well said. And of course, this is being recorded.
Yeah, correct. So it
Okay.
will be somewhere, and people will let know what I'm telling them.
No, it's truth, but
Yeah,
not truth and consequences like that
yeah,
old TV show.
yeah, true.
Or is it truth or consequences? No, truth and well, I'm not sure.
Both.
So, what did you take away from the recent Euro? I see all the pictures, I read all the reports, and it's just a massive business now, a business of organization skills and allowing the interactions to happen.
What I think my biggest takeaway was the power of national associations, um, because more and more are founded with the help of Jura also. And so they give space for that. Meeting old friends as always. So I'm visiting Jura quite long time as well. But I think the two biggest takeaways for me on a personal level, because I think growing, you cannot, or I at least cannot separate between private and business, kind of. So I grow usually same, um, is that if you have newcomers on Neura, jump on them and you can find beautiful people. I met a very nice guy who I just stumbled in front of the conference hotel, who just arrived and who I've just kind of took along and took him all the way. And he was in London this week already meeting one of the ladies I had introduced him to. So that was beautiful to see. And also that if you and that might be a German thing. Germans usually separate work and private life totally, or very quite a lot. Mm, that people I have met during the years and I'm friends with today, that they are just beautiful in my life and that I should not connect them purely to business related topics in my head, but really to private. And that's what I'm doing.
Nice. That's very nicely said.
Thank you.
I've learned a lot from you today, and I thank you for your time.
Absolute pleasure. Same here. And I'm very happy about what we talked about. It was
Great.
very nice. It felt
Please
very
come
natural.
back. I'll send you an invitation and you can pick and choose.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Okay. Well, okay, this is Ed in San Diego and Global TV Talk Show. Go and visit our YouTube channel. It's free and free subscription. And why subscribe? Well, You can view 1,100 broadcasts if you want. But if you do, here's the address, youtube.com/at global TV talk show. And there you can see the thing moving around the world. Hannah, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much and have a very good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.